Alright, so a couple of people asked me about a few of the homework problems that y'all had tonight, and since a lot of you got pulled out for an assembly earlier and didn't really get to ask questions in class, I thought I'd make you a quick video to explain the two main type of problems that you're going to be doing in this homework. The first one tells you to find the distance from M to N. Okay, and what you see here is that you have a segment MR, and it's broken into two parts by this point N. So you have MN, which is 2.5x, and you have NR, which is just x. Now, hopefully you'll remember from the video lesson, and also from elementary school, junior high, things that y'all have done, that when you have something that's broken into pieces, the parts, so the two parts, always add up to the whole. So what that means for this problem is that 2.5x plus x equals 5x minus 3. So to do that problem, we're just going to solve it for x. We start on the left side of our equal sign, and we're going to combine 2.5x and 1x, and that makes 3.5x, and that's equal to 5x minus 3. Now, the next step, a lot of people will probably want to subtract 3.5x, but once you do that, there's not going to be anything left on this side, and that sometimes can throw people off and cause them trouble. So never try to avoid having nothing on this side. So since we don't want to move the 3.5x, we're going to move the 5x, and I'm going to do that by subtracting it from both sides, and I'm going to get negative 1.5x equals negative 3. I'll close that message. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1.5. And I'm going to get x equals 2. Now, x equals 2 is not the answer to this problem. This problem asked you to find mn. Well, mn is equal to 2.5 times x. And since you know that x is 2, you now know that m to n equals 5. On number 17, we read that E is the midpoint of segment DF, and you need to stop right there and draw a picture of that. Don't try to get cute. It'll blow up in your face as we get farther on in the class. When it tells you something like this, E is the midpoint of DF, that means you need to make a segment. You need to put a D on it, you need to put an F on it, and you need to put an E right in the middle. So there's my E. One of the other things you know, because this says midpoint, is that this piece is exactly the same length as this piece because they're split into two equal halves. Midpoints bisects the segment. Now, look over here and it says D to E is 2x plus 4 and E to F is 3x minus 1. Now we're supposed to find DE, EF, and DF. Well, we're not going to be able to do any of that until we know what x stands for, or what x equals. Now, in the other example over here, we did part plus part equals the whole, which that might help us out over here. We could do this part plus this part, but we have no idea what the whole is. So that's not going to be a way that we can solve this problem. But what we can do is know that this piece, D to E, is exactly the same as this piece. And now you look at them, you say, well, they're not exactly the same. They look completely different. You spend an entire year in algebra learning what to do when two things are equal to each other, but they look different. And this is how you do it. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. I'm going to have 4 equals x minus 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I'm going to find out that x equals 5. Okay, I set these two equal to each other right here because I made these little marks here that says this is equal to this. Now to find DE, I'm just going to plug my 5 in for x. So I get 2 times 5 plus 4 10 plus 4, 14. And somebody's going to say, gee, Mr. Lewis, can we just do that one since you know they're the same? What if you get this one wrong? Then you're going to get them both wrong. If you do them both and they don't match, you know you made a mistake and you can save it. If you just take the easy way out and say they're both 14, well, that works right up until you do a little algebra wrong, and then you're going to miss the whole problem just because you were too lazy to do this one time. And last we find out that DF is, both of them added together, 28. Okay, so that's how you do those two problems. Sorry that you got pulled out of class, and maybe next time you have a older brother that's taking geometry, you might be able to check with them and see what they say about it, but you're probably better off just asking me. So have a good night.